Hello to whoever sees this. The reason I'm making this video is because I want to document myself and my progress using Unreal Engine. Um, I don't know, maybe I will help someone like me or someone more experienced than me will help me making better systems, better stuff. Um, I'm a beginner uh, and I'm not a programmer. I know some basic C++, but not that much, not that crazy. Anyway, um, the last month I'm testing stuff in in Unreal, like this system targeting system. I made some basic inventory. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in a new empty project of third person template, and yeah, what I want to do every time I start a new project is to make some generic classes like game modes, uh, player blueprints, anything like that. So player control my player. Be my game mode. So now I can do this, this, and this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I saw somewhere that the logic in the pawn, uh, the moving, jumping, anything like that should be in the player controller. Because what if you want to possess something other than your own character? Uh, you would have a problem in terms of maybe you could move, but you couldn't move the camera or some something like that. So in the player character, first of all, I'll give the simple money as a mess or queen. 90, and spring arm and the camera. So now I can see maybe okay. So now if I press play, I can see the pawn, but I can't move because it's empty. So I decided not to waste any time making class class from the beginning, etc. But basically, what I did is everything that the third person has, including the factions and the eye mouse look. I put it in the my player controller. That's all. So now we can start and making the targeting system. Now what I need is an interface. It will sort out enemies, checking out, maybe pass around gameplay tags. Yeah. And this will have, I use 4 factions. You can do whatever you want, but yeah, making a faction called get the is targetable, and this will have an output of bool. Another faction that gets the enemy tag, get enemy tag, and has an output of a gameplay tag. Another faction that set the material of the enemy, set show material, and this will have an input set show material of a bool. Okay, so now this is the core of this interface, but you can do whatever you want. Personally, I have 2 more factions that has the state of the enemy. Maybe he's dead or whatever. So he has a tag state dot dead. So when the enemy is dead, you can't really target him. So get state tag, and has an output of gameplay tag state tag, and another faction that gets the location, and I'll explain later. This is for get the targeting location, and this is for the site filter targeting point location. Yeah, it has output of vector, and yeah, this is it for the interface. So now I can make the enemy base, enemy, and this will be a copy of player but without camera or anything. Base. So I will delete the camera and just bring on, and in class settings I will add the interface that I just made, PPI targeting. So now I can do, for example, in get state tag, I could have a struct or a variable or whatever that that is setting that we are setting the variable in runtime gameplay, and this from the interface it will pass the data to the targeting component of gameplay tag. State tab. Set some material. Okay, this what I like to do is making a variable of soft object reference, which will be targeting material, and this will be material interface of soft object reference. And this, if this is true, that we will check this inside the targeting component, and if this is true, I will async load asset and on complete cast to material interface. This will give me a hard ref to this material, and if this is true, set material overlay to this, and if this is false, this, we set back to nothing. So now I'm using this very simple material that I will make now. Okay, material and target outline enemy. And this will be masked, unlit, and two-sided. It's very simple. You can find it in every tutorial in YouTube. So I need a color. Let's be param. Color. This will be red. Yeah, like this. And I multiply with a scalar. Color power. Let's be 1 and don't miss it. Now for the opacity mask, I think it's two side sign, one minus, and this is for the opacity. And the world position offset is vertex normal workspace, multiply with a scalar, and this will be the thickness of the outline. By default I do 1. Apply and save. So now I can create a material instance. And give this variable then my targeting this will be like this. Where is it? Enemy base. Overlay. My yeah. So now that we finished the enemy, actually we will come back to enemy base. Now we can go and implement the targeting system in the component. So now, first of all, we need some variables. One is actors, and it will be of actor object reference and then array. Another actor, which will be the valid actor. Another one which will be the gameplay tags. Enemy target tags of gameplay tag. And this by default will have enemy.monster. Another one which will be the state tag, and by default it's state dead. Okay. So now what we need to do is filter the actors in the world and find the closest and inside the enemy. So get actors in range. So you could do a multi sphere but for objects and say get actor location, and say for example that the range of the target is 1000 units. Object types, make array, this will be for pawns. But the thing is that when you press a button and spawn the multi-sphere, this will hit the actor many times. Like one for pawn, one for static mesh, one for another component, I don't know. So I did, let me show you. Reach loop, break, get state tag. So the state tag is this state tag is from the enemy. By default will be nothing. but message tag, this tag, and this will be exact match. And the reason I'm doing this is because what if the enemy has a tag that says state dot invisible and can't be target, or state dot dead, and you have a system that says when you are dead, for example, you need to wait 2-3 seconds to play montage and whatever you wanna do. If you don't do this, the target system will I don't know. I guess you could target when the enemy dies, and I don't think it's correct. So if this is true, you do nothing. Now get is targetable. So if this is true, you add the actor to a local array. Actors in oh, actors in range. This will be actor object reference, and this will be array unique. So now um, if we go our uh, to our player controller and say, for example, debug key tab, get this, and get actors in range. So if I press now, you see, the enemy gets hit multiple times, and that means that this loop will be triggered for every single hit. So what I did is, instead of multi-sphere for trace for objects, I did sphere overlap actors, and the object types will be pawn. We don't need that. This. The actor location is the player character, and the sphere I would like to promote to a variable, and maybe you have a character that has 200 units of targeting range, and another character maybe has like 1000, I don't know. So targeting range. By default I will do like 2000. The array to ignore ourselves, get player character. So now get say tag for each loop, first of all, and this connects here. So now I have if it's target double add. Another check is the enemy target tags. So if this is true, get enemy tag. If this is true, and the enemy target tag matches tag the enemy. If this is also true, add to the local array. Add. Okay. So now, sorry. So now we will return actors in raid local. So now we will return this array, actors in range. So we can do here. Yeah. So and this one. If this is true, both true, then add to the local array. So if I put a breakpoint and don't need this enemy and make bb enemy base enemy one a child of the enemy base. And press play. This will return four actors, I think. Yeah, and I think it's more lightweight from multi-sphere for objects. So yeah, it's false. Is targetable true? Get enemy tag dot dragon. It's getting out to the local array. It's not. Why it's not? Because okay, what? Me dot dragon. So yeah, this will be the parent tag, and if you want something specific, you could put like enemy dot dragon dot skeleton dot slime. But if you let it enemy dot monster, as long as the enemy has a tag like enemy dot monster dot dragon, it will be targeted anyways. So yeah, this will return the 4 in the array, in the local array, and that's how you filter the enemies inside the target range. Remove. Okay, the other faction I want to make is to filter the enemies inside. Get filter enemies inside. And the first thing is to get the actors in range and loop over them for each loop. So now I was doing trace line trace by channel or by profile, and I was doing block all dynamic, but this let me show you actually. Get actor location, and this will be the end, and the start is get player controller camera manager, get camera location. Um, okay. For duration. So now I think if I get filter, so if I press now tab, the trace is getting spawned from the camera and going to the enemy route. This is this isn't very practical because if you have, for example, if you have a pawn behind another pawn, this is getting blocked, so you will never target the enemy behind. So what I found is a line trace, but a line trace for objects, and we need to make a new object trace channel. Project settings, object channel, and this will be targeting line of sight, and by default this will be ignore, accept. And the other thing is I don't want the line trace to the end location of the line trace to be like in the root of the pawn. So what I did is giving a box collision, and this is targeting point, and this will be a very small box above the head. Hidden game. Okay, and for the collision, where is it? Object type. Okay, overlap all dynamic will be custom, and it will block this. This will be ignored, and yeah, I think this. So now, oh, and another thing in the interface, this will be the targeting location. Get all location. Wrong one. Get all location. So now, if I go back to the targeting component, I don't need this anymore, and say line trace for objects. The start will be the camera location. By the way, you could do something like to split this and say from the z-axis add 200 units and then split this, and so the player when press tab, the line trace is 200 units above camera. This is what I'm doing, or actually you could have a variable that says camera up, and this will be a boolean, and you could select float, and this is true. That means the camera is up, so maybe you don't need to have the camera up and then the line trace spawn 200 units above camera. So maybe you should put the z value on A and this one on B, and then in Z. For the object types, this will be make array, and this will have a wall static, because you need the walls and everything that is wall static to block this line trace, and the targeting. And the end, from this get targeting location. And the end end location will be this one, this box collision. So now if I play, oh sorry, I forgot to debug for duration, and so now if I play, okay, and if you have what, and if you have for example an enemy behind the plane, or I don't know, a wall, plane. Because it's a wall static, it won't go to it won't target the enemy behind the wall. Okay, now we need to say, we need to break this, and if this is true and is targetable, so if both of these are true, because you could hit the plane, for example, or the wall is a static mesh. If you don't say is targetable, this will be added to the local array. Oh no, we need the two local arrays actually. Actor in range local, and this will be an array. Okay, so if this is true, you add unique. Okay, we need another one to cycle through. Fresh actor in range local. And now it's a bit tricky. So we need the main array and say contains item, and the item is this one. And if this is false, we add this actor to the fresh one. And this will be handy later. Okay. On complete, I need to check if this is empty. If this is empty, return this array, the local array in range, this one, and clear the main array. Clear return if this is false, return the fresh actors in range array. Okay. The other function that we need now is get closest target. And this one will have two local variables. One is closest target, I guess, local, of type actor, and distance of type float. And in the start, we setting the actor to nothing and the distance to a big number, like 100,000. And now we get the enemies inside and we loop over them for each loop. Now we need to calculate the distance. You could have many nodes like vector, distance, which returns a float, or distance to, I don't know, I don't remember. What I found is get actor location, play character, and from that we need the actor location, and we subtract this location to this location. And from there we say get vector length this is less than equal to this distance, if this is true, then we set the distance to be this float number, um, the subtract number, and the closest target to be this one. So and on completed return, we return both of the localist variables. Distance and close this one, local. Okay, so now what this is doing is so when you press tab and filter the enemies by site, you looping every enemy that the line trace, this line trace, add to this array or this array, and we subtract the vectors we get in the distance, and this will return, for example, for the first enemy maybe 1000 units. So we're setting the distance to 1000 units, and then we compare the second actor's distance. So if the actor's distance is 800 units, then this is true. So we're setting the closest target to be the enemy 2. So yeah, the other function is show the closest target, and this is we take the closest target, we setting the valid actor to be this closest target, and then we getting this array and say add unique. Yeah, and then from this we can say set show material outline. So I think this will work. Set show, oops, set no show close target. Never mind. Why? So this wouldn't work because uh, we need to put in collision settings in the box collision, this one, we need to put the targeting clause to block and the object type to be targeting clause. So now if we go to the component, okay, if we go to the component and okay, now this will be blocking the object type. So if I play, you see it gets the close target and make it red. And if I press as many times, this one won't be targeted. But if I press now, it's because I'm inside and the camera can see and line trace from the camera to the box collision. Okay, so now we can make another function and say clear target, and this one will take this and set to nothing. Oh, come on. Okay. So yeah. But before we set to nothing, I will set the set show material to nothing, and now I think this will work. I believe. Oh no. So I forgot to uh, put the function before the show close target. So if I say clear target first and then show the closest target, this should be working. Okay, and you cycle through only in the visible target. So this one you can't target unless you see him. So yeah. So now this is pretty much done, the component, but we can make some functions to set the movement settings of the player, etc. So movement settings and another function movement settings reset. So here we need two actual booleans, and this is b should lock, and we set it to true, and then we get the valid actor and convert to validate get, and if this is valid, get player controller ignore set ignore. Oh, and we need another one, another boolean, b should rotate, I don't know, and we set this to true, and then from the player character, get player character, get movement component, I think it's set oriented rotation to movement to false, and set design to true. And personally, when this function is on, I also set max walk speed. The default I think is 600, so I make it maybe 4. Yeah, so if it's not valid, I just skip the should rotate, and you can activate without having a valid target. And there is a reset movement settings is the same one, but this is false and this is false, and get player controller set reset look, yeah, and get player character, get movement, character movement, and we basically set the these three back to the default values. Okay. There is another function that I did. I saw a tutorial and making it to event tick, but I don't really want to make things and tick every time. I think it's a waste. So I did set timer by event. Uh, and this event is should lock. This one will be triggered every whatever you want actually, and I promote this to a variable time handy, and I need a custom event that is lock camera maybe. So we need to take the should rotate, and if this is true, we get player. Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't know. It's freezing like many times. But anyway, from here, if the should rotate is true, get player controller, get camera manager, and we need the camera location. Get camera location. And this find look up rotation. This will be the start. We get not the actors, the valid actor, and convert to validate get, and we get the actor, get actor location, and this will be the target location. So if it's valid, get player controller and set control rotation, and from there enter from there, yeah. So if it's valid, we set the control rotation. The current one is the target one is this delta time jet world delta seconds. The iter speed is I don't know. I personally do something small like 3 or 4, and is get control rotations, and this is the current one. And yeah, I personally do, if this function is triggered, I do should lock. And in reset, I just do clear and validate. So I think this will work, I believe. Debug key Q maybe. Flip flop. Move settings. Movement settings reset. And if I play, okay, and nothing happens for now. If I press again, I can lock to the target. Okay, so here if I get should lock, if this is true, we can re-trigger the function, and now that you have a valid target, you can rotate. So if I press Q, okay. And if I press Q again, I don't lock anymore. Now I'm pressing Q. Okay. So the other function I want to make is cancel targeting. Cancel targeting. And this one is just clear target and taking the array and clear the main array as well. And in the controller I can do debug key B and take the component cancel targeting. So now if I press B, I cancel the targeting, and if I move, it's getting update to real time. Okay, and the last thing I want to make is in the controller. I like debug key there is generic camera tweaking settings. So I do a flip flop and timeline, this one, and this one is camera settings. Yeah, so and don't forget, remember this, where is it, this boolean, this one comes here. So set camera up, oops, set camera up, on B is false, on A is true, and this one is play and this one reverse. So we will have two tracks. One is camera up in the axis, and the other one is spring arm length. And the time is, you can make whatever you want. I make 1 second. Add 2 keys. For the camera, 0 times 0 value and 1. So I guess we can make, I don't know, like go 200 units up. 200, 1. And in the second spring arc length, I put in 2 keys, and you need to see the spring arm. Where is this one? This target arm length. The timeline should start from this value, and the second one is the target. So maybe you want it to be 600. Oh, where is 1? And you can make it auto for anyway. So now I have these two, and I can say get player character, get component by class, and the component is the spring arm component. So now I can set the socket offset, and I can split, and this one goes there, and I can do set target arm length, and this one goes there. Yeah. So yeah, now if I play, I think this will work. So the camera goes like this. If I press again the key, it goes back. I could lock, I could press the camera, I could unlock and have the camera like this. I could cancel the targeting. Yeah. And I could lock into nothing. And if I have a valid target, it's getting locked automatically. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, whoever sees this. And if you have anything to ask or tell me how to make my system better. Oh, and by the way, if you go, for example, in the enemy one, for example, and say state tag is state.dead, now you can target. You see? And by the way, behind the wall is also the same one. So yeah, you can check and filter the targets however you want. Thanks for watching.